So what we have here is Campus Legends college basketball. It's on Steam, um, and it's basically like your PS3 game of college basketball 10 a little bit. Kind of like how there's a sim game called Coach Dynasty, a football um, or College Coach, a football dynasty, that kind of game that's also on Steam. It's kind of like that or NCAA football where you kind of recruit and try to make the best of your roster, to say the least. So select a new game here, and there's multiple different colleges you can choose from the Sunshine, Continental, Atlantic, Great Plains, Northeast, Pacific Coast. Like, there's way more than there is for college football when you got the Big Ten, the Pac 12, the Big 12, SEC, MAC, Sun Belt. There's like way few little conferences compared to basketball. And I'm going to be choosing the Horizon League, which has Youngstown State, just says Youngstown on here, Milwaukee, Northern Kentucky, Fort Wayne, Purdue, Fort Wayne, Cleveland State, Oakland, Fairborn. I don't believe is in it unless if it's different. Because what is kind of cool is this kind of past year I did a season with UWGB and went to majority of their home games, and so I know a decent amount of colleges, unless if they're called something differently, then that is, yeah. And they probably can't, because they're not licensed with NCAA to give out the full name, so they kind of go Fairborn or whatnot, what like kind of city they're in. So like Detroit and stuff like that, and all these other schools. But I'm going to be choosing University of Green Bay. So we are going to choose Jeremy Crazy, and we are going to be 25 years old. Season Pro, Fresh Face, Rising Star. Season Pro is 75. Veteran. Living Legend. Okay, so like depending on where you're at, essentially to see where you're at on recruiting wise and all that jazz. And if you're like a living legend, you like basically you start from the bottom and you work your way up throughout this game. But I'm going to be a season pro. We're going to kind of make it medium for us. And we got 10 points left to allocate. So we are going to recruiting. We're going to put 2 there, or 3. We'll put 3, and then we'll put 2 on offense and 2 on defense. Kind of make it essentially kind of even. So what is it? 55 is very low. 99 is very high. So I want to be at that medium level pace of play. And then very inside focus, very perimeter. We're going to kind of be at that middle level too as well, where if we can dump it inside, we can dump it inside. But if we can do that extra pass on the perimeter, then we'll be fine. It's setting up the game for us. And so, okay, so this is kind of what they're kind of hoping that we get to is 11 and 19. We have top players within the league: Otto Porter, Stephen Warren, senior Osvaldo Bennett, who's a junior, Zed Morgan, that's a freshman, and this is forward, and center, and then a guard when it comes to position-wise. And then a junior, 90 overall, Darius Yoder. So we got top teams of Spokane, 80 overall, Durham, 79, Villanova, 79, Kansas, 78, and North Carolina of 78. We get right on it. And to start off with, I think it's going to be UWGB us against Hawaii. That's kind of what it's looking at. Okay, so we can... This must be where we can see the news, the conference brackets, the national tournament bracket. There, I was just guessing, but I guessed correctly. Then our standings throughout the league of the top 25. There we go. I'm on a roll right now. So they must put the Big Ten as Heartland. So Wisconsin's number 16. Buckeye State, maybe mentioning of Ohio State right there. Syracuse in the Atlantic. Then southeast of SEC with Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas. Waco, would have no idea. But Connecticut within the Northeast. Then the Pacific Coast, so the Pac-12 with USC, California, or that could be Stanford as an Ivy League school, but that wouldn't make sense to be in the Pac-12, so just kind of giving a guess, not necessarily being right. West Lafayette could be Purdue with the Heartland, Villanova, Michigan with Michigan, Oregon, Pac-12, so it could honestly be the Pac-12 before the whole changes and everything. And sometimes with different sports, it's different, that football could be in the Big Ten, but then everything else is in their normal conference of what they've been doing throughout their whole entire time. So we got Durham, which now I'm thinking that's Duke. Durham for Duke. North Carolina for North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas, Spokane. Kind of seem like a Washington type school. That's what I'm thinking of, but so being in the Pac-12 and having Spokane, it's kind of odd. And the colors don't match up either. So, and then Michigan State of East Lansing State, Arizona, Virginia. Yeah, that would make sense. Atlantic's the ACC, SEC, Great Plains for Kansas. I don't know at this point, but there's some good schools, but as you can tell now, like in real life, Oregon's with the Big 10, I should say, not Big 12. USC's with the Big 10. the only kind of change within here. But yeah. Anyway, league news, Sunshine Conference, Atlantic. So these are just all previews of probably the breakdown of each conference. Heartland, Mountain, Horizon. So we're near mid, number 9. So 8 and 9 being essentially the two schools in Wisconsin, Milwaukee and Green Bay, are in the middle, which is kind of cool. So be interesting to know what these teams are essentially. But yeah, it kind of throws me off with it not being the real actual like team names, but I realize now that they don't have licensing for the actual team names and players' names too. So what we have for right now, rotation for the time being. We have a starting sophomore that is a forward for a guard. We're going to change that. Can we swap? Starter preference 75. Yes. We'll have to work around. But within, as of right now, with our roster is we have Blake Wilson, that's a 6'5 sophomore. He is a forward, 64 overall. We have Yasser Winters, who is a 6'3 redshirt senior, a guard, a 72 overall. We got Sterling Garcia, that is a 6-foot sophomore, guard, 67 overall. Justin Price, who is a 6'9" junior forward at a 76 overall. And then to top it off with the top 5 that looks listed here, that with the allocated overalls, we have a Tyler Woods, 7-foot freshman center, that is a 68 overall. Then just behind him is Ollie Schmidt, a 6'11 junior, center, 66 overall. Then we got Stuart Winters, 6'6 freshman, guard of 66 overall. Then we got Dennis Zellers, 7-foot freshman, a center, 66 overall. Then we have Nolan Miles, a 6'8 sophomore, forward, 64 overall. Then we have Xander Solis, a 6'7" senior, forward, 59 overall. Then our bottom 4, John Williams, a 7-foot freshman, center, 59 overall. Chase Perez, 6'10" redshirt sophomore center, 64 overall. Then we have Randolph Stewart, a 7-foot redshirt junior, center, 58 overall. And then we have Darius Wiley, a 7-foot redshirt freshman, center, 66 overall. And that concludes our roster that is on here for the time being before I advance to the next week. Um, this is training. I'm going to make it a 5. And then it's just player stats, team stats throughout the season, and then the history of year national champion, semifinalist, national player of the year, and the national coach of the year, and then the exit button. So we're gonna go to overview. So that was the roster that I mentioned that was in the starting kind of lineup per se. So that is that. Our staff, we have 3 assistant coaches, 4 graduate assistants, and 2 athletic trainers. So our first assistant coach is Sean Wyatt. He is a 69 overall offense and 75 overall defense. That's all I'm going to say about them because it could get, and they have 1-year contracts, I guess, for everybody. Then we got Herbert Rhodes, that is a 63 overall for offense and 57 overall defense. Ronnie Harrison, another assistant coach, 75 for offense and 69 for defense. And then the graduate assistants range between 59 to 57 for offense and defense, 63 to 67 on defense. Then our schedule. So I was right. We are facing Hawaii, the first game of the season. Then we go to Dover State. Then we go to Nassau, which is I guess, New York school. Then we come back and we face Villanova, Houston at home. Then we go to the Wisconsin Badgers. And we're on the road in Oklahoma to Tulsa. Then Utah State at home. Charlotte Presbyterian at North Carolina. Nevada at home. And then we start our conference play with Illinois metropolitan area in Chicago first as we go there. Then we come back to Fort Wayne, and it's kind of back and forth. Besides the 2 home games on January 6th and 10th home stretch, and February 7th and 11th, or yes, we're away twice in a row too. So it's kind of like a back and forth, but we have 3 home stretches and 1 away stretch for conference play. But we don't play them back to back. We may play them close together, but it kind of seems that they are spread out, where we at least play everyone once, for sure. Because we'll play Illinois Metropolitan twice, Minnesota Catholic twice, Colonial twice, Fairborn twice. So there's probably a select few that they go in rotation because there's so many teams within the conference. You select which, or it auto generates which colleges are being select to duplicate and single. So we'll go to statistic, we have nothing, and history, we have nothing. So overview, our roster and staff, we have kind of went over. So with this being said, we have a boatload of centers and not many forwards and guards, to say the least. So our game plan, I'm not gonna mess with anyone's kind of offensive priority, defensive priority, and stuff like that. So I'm going to do with the rotation is allocate minutes, bench size, like 5, starting, preference 75. We're going to make it, we'll just keep it 75. And so we have Sir Winters for sure, who is a starter guard. And then we have Sterling Garcia. Then the forwards, I mean, it could be one forward and a couple centers either way. Because Ollie Schmidt as a junior could also play. But we have one forward that's a junior, Justin Price. That is a 76 overall. And 64, Blake. I think we're just going to do a double center. A double center combo. So Solis I don't think was that high in value overall. We have Mr. Price here. I'm going to choose you. And then Ollie Schmidt, a 6'11" center. And then we're going to do Mr. Woods, but we'll see if there's a lot of 7-footers, but it's just overall wise. There we go. So how does that work? Alright, so we have Winters, Garcia. We have the 2 centers. Blake Wilson, that was up there. He will be a backup to Mr. Price there. What we'll do is usually guards will get more minutes. Centers kind of will do 25, so we have 12 minutes to allocate. Guards, yeah, kind of get there more. We'll do 28. Mr. Wilson here, we'll get 15. Then okay, he's at 58 overall, so it's also a 6'10". It's also a 6'8" forward, so that's good too. But there's still 6'8", 64, and 64. Okay. 64 height-wise. So what we can do is, 7 foot, 7 foot. Richard freshman, and a freshman. Then we have Nolan Miles. Then we have a senior forward, but he's 59 overall. 66 and 64. Well, we also got the 64 guy, too. So we'll add 9 there. There. I'll leave these 3 open-ended for the time being, but what do we want more of? Guard, forward. Could also drop him because essentially this other 64 forward is, I mean, they're even, so now I have 6 minutes left, so I can add 3 to him. I'll do 1. Or I'll do, I'll do 1 here, 2 there. There we go. Kind of spreads it out a little bit, and then it gives these centers a little bit of rest in between, kind of, and yet they're going to be starting, so they're going to get the most minutes. And then I could drop these down a little bit too, essentially. Why don't I? We have 4 minutes to play with. We have my guy 1 more minute, so we just got a lot of 6'10", 7-foot centers, but like with these guys, it may be like, hey, you got the 7 feet tallness, but they don't have the coordination to play basketball yet. It happens to some occasions, but some of them can get pretty good at their craft. We're just going to sim it. We don't need to watch it. So, we lost by 3. Okay. Scored 78 points, 38 rebounds, 15 assists, 10 steals, 3 blocks, 11 turnovers, which is not the greatest. 47 from the 3-point line, 41% from inside the paint or inside the circle. And then I have no idea what MOV means. So, -3, and it looks like we're 105th. It's not good either. So our top performer was Sterling Garcia. Tyler Woods with the rebounds. Assist was Winners. Garcia again with the steals. And then Ollie Schmidt with the blocks. All right. So, see. Okay. That's pretty cool. So we'll see the result. Ranker seed, I guess. 0-1 with the high points, rebounds, and assists per game. And statistics, we'll see. Minutes played, 34, 6, 34, and 6, 6, 6. Okay. So it's kind of like our starting lineup showed up, but then our bench kind of flopped a little bit. So it happens. History, there's nothing. Schedule, staff. Just trying to see if there's anything that really changes, but there's nothing. And overview, there's that. And key players, and I'm playing all of them, so. Overall, 67. 2 prestige. Also trying to see if we do Omaha, Nebraska, maybe. Where are they at? Richmond, Indiana, so I don't know what that all means. Just Detroit, 26 points. I think our guys on that list though too are close to it. Where he just misses because he scored 21 points. Wisconsin, 33 forward Shannon Graham. Overall 80, 24 points, 3. Whatever that is. Oh, total rebounds, offensive rebounds, total rebounds. 3 defensive rebounds. 64% on the free throw line. So. And then we will go. Threes, reports, red shirts. I don't think I'm playing Darius Wiley, but he's redshirted. But that they already used it. Essentially, he already used it, but we can redshirt this freshman. Stuart Winters. I don't think I'm using him, but I could look. So we could redshirt him. Total game plan. We are. So we're redshirting him. Senior, we don't need a red shirt. Can't redshirt him. I'd say we just redshirt this freshman center and call it because he's going to be a key player right now, and we may redshirt him next year. It is what it is. So we'll advance. We'll just have that sim. And we'll go to the home. And we did win that one by 2. It's non-conference. Dover State Celebration Conference. We're 1-1. And 25, 9, and 4. We had 19, 7, and 6. So that's good. Box score for GB. We had Winters Garcia. 5 for 17 for Garcia. He had 17 points. It was Price that had 19. And then 15 for Winters. 8 for Woods. Winters had 2. I wonder if we should redshirt him right now. Because he's only scoring minimum. Yeah, why don't we? Take him off the plan for right now. And then Just give him the 10 minutes. Where did I find that? There it was. There. So we're up to like 3 red shirts. And those are the 2 that I will be red shirting. So we'll watch this one. Attempts, he misses it, so they're down 2-0. So we got 2-2, 2-4. So those must be the misses and makes. Score right now 6-5. Shot a 3-pointer. Price. And free throws. And he makes one, misses one. Could speed it up a little bit. 10-9, 12-9, 12-11. It's all tied up. We're at 18, 20, 21-20. Still in the first half, down by 3, down by 1. Now we're up by 2. Up by 4. Up by 1. By 1 still, down by 1. We're in the second half. Gonna speed it up a little bit. We're up by 1. Now we're up by 5. Just need to close her out. Now we have a lot of playing to do. Up by 6. By 8. Carrying away. Now we're up by 9. 11 now. 2 for 1 at this point. Catching up. By 10, 9, 10. Yeah. Looks like we may... We got in the game by 11. So we had Mr. Wilson scored 2 points, Schmidt 14, Miles 4, Winters 4, T. Woods 9. I feel the full box score. Stewart, John, Randolph didn't enter. Solis had 7 points. Chase Perez had 0. Wiley 4. Miles 8. So we had 14 from Mr. Schmidt. And then Justin Price had 11. Winters had 4. And usually our top scorer had 10. So very interesting. So don't need that. Confirm. So we have won the game. So we are 2-1. It's a torn ligament. Manual. So now we have 10 minutes to... So how long is he out? Oh, manual. We'll just bump everyone up by 2. Or, yeah. Maybe we'll do that. There. That'll be good. So, let's play. Do 80 on that. 74 on that. Or there's that. Pace of play. We'll just keep it the same as we usually have been doing it. Rotation will stay the same. Even though we could add Randolph Stewart. Yeah, why don't we? So we'll just take those minutes back. Or at least 7 minutes back and give it to this guy. There. Everyone is just adding an extra person and then we can bump those down to get 4 more. And that's when we can just, get those and then the forwards. And we'll just get 10 minutes. There we go. To just give them 25 though. 28. 28 for that. There we go. We'll do that. Yeah, give the centers more time. There we go. Will be the best kind of rotation so far with what we have. So, we'll kind of do a couple more games. I was hoping to see some recruiting and stuff, unless if I necessarily don't have to with what I have. I don't need to do any recruiting. But unless if it's like an off-season thing in this game, where in the football one, you do it throughout the season, and you always need people to fill in roster spots. So MLV is 3.3, so we changed from negative 3.0 to 3.3, which hopefully that's good. Then we kind of bumped up our field goal percentage. 3-point kind of stayed the same. Turnovers needs to get lower. Blocks of 3, steals of 7, assists 13.7, rebounds 36.7, and then 79. So we've been kind of staggering about the same. So we will just sim the game against Villanova, and we may take a defeat, but I believe in the program, which we got our butt kicked. So Um, us by 21. Our top performers right now is Sterling Garcia still the top. Justin Price with 6.5 for assists, rebounds for Justin Price. And Garcia 2.8 for steals, and Ollie Schmidt for blocks of 0.8. So we'll get going on to the next one. And we take another defeat against Houston. They are a good basketball team as well. Lost by 4. So it was a tough fight. Box score. Randolph, but I wonder if it's personal foul related, if we're getting trouble with that. Plus or minus, and then Randolph Stewart, negative 16. So I wonder if he's a 58 overall, if we should drop him from the lineup. Sorry about that, bud. Or we'll just drop your minutes to 6. And everybody else more time. We can always look at training. Do a 6, hopefully. I'll change it to a 7. General, on ball, post, perimeter, defense, tangibles. Let's say perimeter defense. Reports, mid, -1. 3 points. Blocks. Runners. This one. I'll sim to the next game, which is against Wisconsin. We may have a tough defeat on that one. Alright, everyone changed up to +1 instead of minus. Only 1 minus on the section for block. For a guard, which isn't that big of a deal. So is moderate, and he is 11 games, 9 games left. That's just tough. And we lost by 17. Alright, and then we go to Tulsa. We'll simulate that. Lost by 19. Are we getting beat inside, or what is our stats looking like right now? From that, so our perimeter is going up. Is going up. Not staying the same. Oh, went up and it's kind of staying stagnant. All right. Primary defense. I think it was post defense, to be honest. Personal fouls isn't an issue. We had 4, they had 12. Free throw, we're better. 3.2841. Oh, so essentially they just beat us on all, so we're good with our training being perimeter defense. So that should be better overall. All right. We lost by 3. So Price, elbow hyperextension. So he's out now. So now there we go. Do that and see what happens. Utah State. Field goal percentage, we beat them. 3-point percentage, we beat them. They're still getting to us on that. Alright. Charlotte Presbyterian. And we lost by 19. So it's been tough for us so far. We're in a sim. So nothing really has changed. We faced Nevada and we lost by. So he's recovered. Say auto for that and see what they did. Yeah, we'll see what this also does too. As well. It's like try to lower when it comes to the centers because usually they don't have the high stamina, but that may be the cause of what's happening. But alright, so he's back. Now we start the conference play. So not doing too hot. We're 2-8 right now. 14th in the conference overall. Then we're gonna start the conference play, and we'll catch you on the next one.